Hello and welcome to episode 1 of the 20 Years of Cthru27 podcast. A podcast not only exploring and celebrating the 20-year history of arguably the biggest hip-hop infused rock band to come out of Reading, Suffolk, but also celebrating, remembering and reconnecting with the venues, bands, fans and friends that were part of the awesome local scene and that all contribute to this strange and relatively insignificant story of ours. If you haven't already guessed from my annoying voice, my name is Richard Trigg, and not only am I a guitarist in the band, but I'll also be your host throughout this series. In each episode, I'm going to chat to band members, past members, collaborators, other bands from back in the day, and random people who were just generally involved in our local scene. A scene which inspired us and many others like us, and a scene that might otherwise remain forgotten and overlooked. Now, if you're not familiar with the band, let me bring you up to speed. Cthru27 formed in Suffolk in 2001, broke up in 2006, got back together briefly in 2013, and have sort of been on hiatus ever since. Well, until 2020 that is, when we began writing a brand new record. And for the first time in 15 years, actively making plans to be a band again. Writing, recording, touring, and we've got some really cool plans, and it will be really ace to share some of this journey on the podcast with you. So being as this is the first episode, there's really only one person we could have on. So sit back and enjoy as I catch up with my partner in crime, occasional co-host, the original Country Boy, Cthru frontman, Mr. Jonny Leech. Alright Johnny, how's it going mate?
Yeah, all good man. Yourself?
Good. So, first podcast, let's take it right back to the start. Tell me about what you remember about the conception of the band, your earliest memories of the band, you know.
My earliest memories of the band was, well, it was before it was really see-through. It was just you and me sat in an annex in your garden, drinking Tetleys.
We made. Do you remember the Tower of Tetleys we made?
Yeah, I remember the Tower of Tetleys.
Yeah, that was there for some time.
So basically I was working in a supermarket and I'd get a crate of Tetleys every Friday night or something.
Yeah.
And Trigg would pick me up, we'd go to the annex, drink the Tetleys. I was probably even smoking weed then.
I don't remember.
I don't know. Anyway, we'd get drunk and just have a laugh and write songs really.
Yeah.
Just for nothing serious, just for a joke really.
Yeah.
And then we wrote Beautiful Sky. And it was like, actually, we're just doing this for a joke, this is actually alright.
True story.
And then started taking it a bit more seriously after that.
Yeah, Jess came round and she sung on Beautiful Sky.
Yeah. And Paul Emery did.
We did remove Paul Emery from that track a bit later on.
Did we?
Yeah, he's not actually on the final version, which is a shame.
Yeah.
Is it a shame? I'm not sure, but
I'm sure he is.
he might be.
Sure he is.
He might be.
Don't let them drag you down.
Oh yes, he is. Yeah, you're correct. He is. Yeah. He is on that bit on the original demo. Yeah. Funny times. I remember. Do you remember when? I remember when we were driving from Lowestoft to Beccles, and we were in my car, an old Volvo, and we were thinking about names, and I can't remember what we were listening to, but a whole song came on, and someone who I'm not keen on anyhow, but they said, oh, that was so and so from Live Through This or something like that. And that's when I said, oh, we should call the band See Through This or something. And then, do you remember that?
I do remember that, yeah.
And then
driving through Whirlingham actually.
Yeah, something like that.
It's weird that I remember that.
Yeah. And I don't know where the 27 bit came about, but it did. And I think you were like, it's a shit name.
It still is a shit name.
Yeah.
But we're stuck with it now. So.
Yeah, we kept it in it. So, but yeah, what's your earliest kind of memory about playing in the band? Like, obviously we put the band together we had Joe Leffley and Barry Sinclair, Jess.
Would have been Paul Hobbs's, playing at Paul Hobbs's house.
At the Seagull?
Yeah.
It wasn't his house.
He is, he still lives there.
He doesn't live there.
He does.
That was a...
This is completely irrelevant, but going back to the name,
Yeah.
I was thinking about this the other day. Most band names are shit names.
Of course they are.
It's the band that makes the name, innit?
I think so, yeah.
I was hearing, like, I was listening to the Libertines and just thinking, why did no one think of that name before the Libertines?
Yeah.
It's such a great name. But then there's bands like, say, I don't know, Queens of the Stone Age. It's not the best name in the world.
No, it's not.
But good band makes the name, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean...
Anyway.
Name's a name, innit?
What were we talking about?
Your earliest memories of See-Through.
Yeah, Paul Hobbs' house, mate.
The Seagull Theatre.
Yeah. Because he used to sleep under the mixing desk, didn't he?
No, he didn't. That was a guy called Robin Axford slept on the mixing desk.
No, he had a panic attack on the mixing desk.
Oh, did he?
We could probably talk about it later. Paul Hobbs used to sleep under the mixing desk.
I think he did.
He had a pillow and a
sleep under the
duvet
mixing
under
there. So your first memory was what, playing or recording at Seagull?
My earliest memory would have been playing Seagull Theatre.
Okay.
Yeah.
With Paul Hobbs.
Yeah, it wasn't a great gig if I remember.
Throw down your RV, get yourself comfy, and listen to a little bit of See-Through on podcast. Oh yeah.
Talking of shows then, what's your favourite ever See-Through show?
Let me think. I don't know, it's got to be I can't remember specific gigs, there've been so many. It would have to be a brewery gig probably.
Exit?
See, Exit was alright. The whole experience of Exit was great. Playing with Wu-Tang and all that, and driving there, flying there.
What about
even maybe Lady in the Lake?
Yeah.
Last gig we ever did was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. It was like a comeback gig after 5 years.
Yeah, the Lady of the Lake was great.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Unexpectedly busy.
Yeah.
And unexpectedly played well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that show. I enjoyed all them 2013 shows, actually. But yeah, there was definitely some great brewery shows. I remember when we did the Radio N release, that being pretty special.
Can't remember it.
February 2005.
Where was that? The brewery?
Yeah.
I think, for me, all the brewery shows were great. I've just got great memories of them all.
Yeah.
Also Rock Gardens, actually. Actually, yeah, probably my favourite See-Through gig would be the first time we played in London.
Okay.
Because it was, it just wasn't local anymore. Suddenly it seemed like bigger.
Yeah. We took down a coach load of people went to it.
Yeah. Yeah, who were lucky enough to do a See-Through quiz on the way.
Really?
You wrote a See-Through quiz.
Is it true?
Yeah.
I also gave everyone 2 tickets. So
The winner got a t-shirt, I think.
Brilliant. Everyone who came in had 2 tickets. I can't remember how I did it, but I know that we doubled up the entry so that it appeared that we had double the amount of people in there, so we actually got paid more. We actually got paid at all. Thinking on, Johnny, thinking on. But it was a time where felt like there was loads of places to play though back then, and lots of bands to play with.
It definitely felt like, well, there was a definite movement back then, I think.
Yeah.
Pre-social media.
Yeah, there was always bands, wasn't there?
There was so many bands, most of them not very good, but...
No, I mean, we were definitely included in that in the early days, for sure.
Well, I still think we were probably the best band about... I'm kidding, by the way. But, yeah, there was loads of great bands. Dacra, See-Through, Hookworm, See-Through, Dacra.
Yeah, there were some great bands. Do you remember Innocence or Otherwise? I always enjoyed them.
Yeah.
They were pretty good.
Bit on the shite side as well.
Yeah.
What were they called?
Fault on the Right Side, Johnny.
Cliffy was in them.
Was he?
Yeah.
Sure?
That's what he told me recently.
Don't know if he was.
Oh.
Maybe he was.
He was in them.
I can't remember.
They weren't really shite, they were quite good.
Can't really remember. But yeah, they were about.
Yeah, they were good.
There was just, you'd be hard pushed to not be able to do or go to a gig with other bands playing. It sort of,
Yeah, it was good times.
2003 or whenever, it was just full of venues, the area, and full of bands, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was great bands coming out of Halesworth as well.
No, it was time.
Yeah, Beccles, Bungay, Halesworth, Lowestoft, all these places. It was just, everything was about music back then for some reason. Especially Halesworth, there's just so many. Even you could say, look at Ed Sheeran.
Well, there was just, I suppose there's not a lot to do.
No. No, it's not like that now. Huh?
And I think
kids just want to be YouTubers now.
Of course, because they see other people being YouTubers, and I think that's kind of one of the reasons I really want to explore certain things in this podcast, where you have these venues and you have bands playing and you have people attending, and then we were people going to these gigs and seeing bands playing and going, shit, I want to do that. And
I'll tell you what,
attainable.
A shout out to Cherry Wax, man, because they got there, like, I think they not made it, but they started gigging and doing it a couple of years before anyone else, when they were like 13.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, back in the 90s.
And I remember going to like Cherry Wax gigs at Rumborough Hut, and just being like, fucking wow, man.
Yeah.
These are just our mates. Maybe we can do this as too.
Yeah, exactly.
That's before then, it was Tokyo Sex Whale.
That's right. Yeah, Rifle Hall.
So big up to Duncan Cameron, Henry Thomas, Matt Pescod, Alex Story.
It was
John Linney, man, because Cherry Wax were a big influence in a way.
Yeah, I mean,
so
all
kind of paved the way for all the local bands.
Yeah, I remember going to the brewery in maybe 2001 or maybe even earlier with friends, and to go and watch. I think it was 13 Candles or something like that.
Yeah,
just like a goth night, and just going, whoa, this is the next level of village halls.
Why did you go?
It's not even in a village hall anymore. We're now in there's now like an actual bar.
What made you want to go to a goth night then?
I didn't really have an option. I just come over from Southwold and was just like, whoa, the bright lights of Lowestoft. I went with James Deary and some other people, I can't remember who, and we all went to the brewery, and it was like I remember the first time I went there, and it was just like, whoa, there's all these people drinking, but there weren't just goths there, it was just full of everybody. It was just like clearly a communal place. I was like, wow, that's the place to go. And I tell you, another place I went to, which kind of come from where we come from in Raydon, was like a oh shit, which was going to like a gig at Colville House. Do you remember that? Like,
yeah,
the first time I went to a gig at Colville House, and was just like, there's all
played there before see-through.
Yeah, and it was
played the one as at high school.
Skaters, and and it was just a time where it was like, whoa, I want to kind of go and do that kind of thing, and I think now that kids don't necessarily aren't going, because the venues aren't there, the bands aren't there, and the kids aren't going to the shows to see the bands, to see that it's attainable and to be inspired. And what they are seeing is people on YouTube, and that's cool, but that's what they're seeing, and that's what they're getting inspired by at the moment. And I think it's kind of interesting about the movement. Movement's maybe a bit rich, but like
I think it was a movement in a way, man. There's nothing else going on.
Yeah, it was inspiring.
Culturally, definitely. I mean,
so with that in mind, what do you reckon? Who was your favourite artist that we've ever sort of played with, or supported us, or we supported, or we generally just shared a stage with? Who
did we share a stage with? I don't know.
Could be anyone.
But I'm going to say Dacrophilia, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dak were cool.
Could say Chaz and Dave.
We haven't played with Chaz and Dave.
Sure we did. It's Gig in the Park.
Yeah, I'm not sure we did.
I think we did.
Did the Selector. Played with the Selector.
Yeah.
I didn't care about that.
No.
So I probably would.
There's some pretty big bands. I just can't seem to remember them.
They don't have to be big bands though. I mean,
no.
I quite enjoyed.
I just love watching Dacra. I just think Ben was such a great songwriter.
Yeah, Ben's a great songwriter. Absolutely. Yeah, that's cool though. I like. there was a lot of bands that would just appear and disappear, and some of them were great and some of them weren't so great, but they were hard to keep up with. I remember a band that we used to play with. I think they were called Driving Holden or something like that. They were pretty cool.
Driving Holden Pit.
No,
Holden Pit.
I think they're from Norwich, but I remember them being really cool. And I tell you who else I used to really like playing with was Rockestella, who went on to be the Violet, or the girls from them.
I loved Violet. I thought they were brilliant.
Yeah, so remember we used to do quite a few shows with
Yeah, they were good gigs, man.
Yeah.
Most of the one back gigs were good.
Yeah.
Rosalita were good.
Yeah, they were okay.
I think
they were a bit bloody serious though.
Yeah, I think I insulted them accidentally a few times.
I remember you emptied their fridge of beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we got pretty pissed off by that. We went there and emptied.
I think that happened a few times. I think I locked the backstage door and then just drank the entire rider.
Yeah, we removed the rider and
yeah.
I don't think we were particularly popular on the circuit.
Swoosh time, podcast time, see-through style.
What see-through song do you think you have the strongest emotional connection to?
Wow. I think it's actually 100%. It's going to be a new one that people haven't even heard yet.
Yeah, go for it.
Which is Stargazing.
Yeah, what about it? What about it do you connect to? I think you're right, by the way.
I think that I've been for quite a lot the last 5 years, maybe the last 7 years. It's been quite difficult. I don't know, I guess, people just going to have to listen to it, aren't they?
True, okay.
But it means a lot to me, yeah. And it definitely writing it was therapeutic.
Yeah.
But I've definitely got an emotional connection to it because every line is something that has happened to me or happened to someone I know.
Yeah.
Every line in that song is real.
Yeah.
I seen a walk a mile in a 9 West. That happened. No one will know what 9 West was apart from girls who are into fashion.
Right.
But it'll make more sense when the track comes out and people hear it.
Sure.
But yeah, definitely that. Prior to that, I don't know. Emotional connection, maybe Beautiful Sky, just because it started everything off.
Yeah, weird, isn't it?
But that's a weird emotional connection because the lyrics aren't that meaningful, really.
No, I think.
But people seem to, I don't know. That's like Cliffy, for instance. He says he relates to Beautiful Sky more than any other song, which is really weird because I didn't think when I wrote it. I just wrote it. The first thing that came into my head.
Noel Gallagher, I think it's him who kind of famously says that he doesn't write songs. He captures them out of the air, and they.
That did seem to happen with Beautiful Sky. It just kind of appeared.
Yeah. Talking of old songs, then, what's your most embarrassing moment in See-Through of the last 20 years?
I think we're playing a gig in London and playing a song called High School Killer. Okay. And for some reason, I just remember it was like a really middle class, upper classy crowd, and they were all sitting at dinner tables having dinner, and I was in a vest top and a baseball cap. Standard. Singing, "If you don't give a fuck, we don't give a fuck. Put your motherfucking hands in the air." Which and just looking out to the crowd and just seeing their faces of all being like, "What the fuck is this?" And me looking back at them thinking, "I just want to get off this stage." Get out of here. Not understanding why we'd been booked to play there. I can't remember where it was. I just remember Uri Geller was there.
The spoon.
Uri Geller was there.
Spoon guy.
Yeah.
I wish I'd have known that.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. Am I a fan? No, that's probably a little bit far-fetched.
But that often happened. because now it doesn't really matter. Now it's celebrated to be an amalgamation of different genres. Back then it wasn't.
No, you're
So
completely right. Yeah,
it was difficult to get booked. We just used to get booked to these fucking gigs that we shouldn't have been playing. We should get booked on goth nights, playing to goth crowds. Booked at like this middle class venue or whatever. Booked at fucking.
Yeah, no, you're right. We used to
even booking on a hip hop night. We weren't really a hip hop. We're not a hip hop band, really.
No.
So we kind of stuck out a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Nowadays, it seems to be like
because the only hip hop element is my rapping, really.
Yeah, seems to be the thing these days to be.
It's my favourite genre of music, but
whatever bit of this, bit of that seems to be like like you said, it's celebrated. But then it definitely wasn't. You were either one or the other, and you couldn't really.
We got turned down quite a few times by record companies because of that reason.
Got turned down a lot. Like I remember going to a press agency with Adam, and they were like, "Oh, we need to pigeonhole you. You can't be hip hop and funk and rock and this and this. You have to be one or the other."
Yeah. Well, big up to us for not doing it.
Yeah. Fuck the man.
Yeah, too right. Fuck the system, man.
Yeah. That's just the times of, it's how it was back then, though, wasn't it?
But yeah, you listen now to rappers like Rest in Peace, Triple X, Temptation, Little Peep, Juice WRLD. They're like stylistically, they just cross so many genres.
Yeah, they do.
Especially Triple X.
Yeah.
1 minute is death metaling, screaming. Next minute he's rapping.
Yeah.
Next minute there's a bit of funk in there, and it's like, what the fuck? Well, I heard it was so refreshing. I was like, what the fuck is this?
There's
man?
a few like that.
And the part of me was like, we were doing this kind of 20 years ago.
Yeah, there's a chap called is it Ghostman?
Yeah.
He's kind of doing like I don't even know what you'd call it, but the point being, it's a mix of this, that, and everything, and no one seems to be giving a shit.
No.
So,
celebrated.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, what's your favourite see-through track to perform live? So I'm guessing this is probably going to be one of the old ones, but
see if you can guess.
Beautiful Sky?
No, it's nearly though.
Oh,
no, not nearly at all, but there's one of them.
So wrong.
Nah,
I don't know.
it's got to be Radio N, man. Just because it's always the opener.
Yeah.
And you just come on and it's riff, bang, in, fat beat.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah. So I
think it'd probably be mine. I think I'm
so comfortable. I'm just so comfortable playing it. It's just stuck in my head. So it's like, I enjoy it.
Yeah, Radio N. Good answer. It's probably the correct answer. So
yeah,
10 points there.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
What can I get with points?
You can collect them.
Yeah.
And then save them up every time you do a podcast.
Do you remember getting Liam to do things for points?
No.
So me and Henry, I don't know if you were that actually, me and Henry would get him to do like, say, down 3 cans of beer and you can have 10 points.
All right, cool.
And Liam would do it.
Yeah.
And it would be like, eat this and you can have 20 points.
Well, points win prizes.
Liam would do it. And then like at the end of the night he went, what can I actually buy with these points? Well, you can't buy anything with them, mate. So why have I done all this stuff then? Well, I don't know, but you've got 1,000 points.
Oh, brilliant! What's your? That is funny. What's the funniest memory you've got of band stuff? Do you think? I mean, 20 years. I mean, and one that we could put on the internet.
So, one I could put on the internet. Fucking hell, narrows it down. Like, actually, what about? I'd say a good one is playing at UEA.
Yeah.
No, playing at the Arts Centre.
Okay.
For a grant.
Yeah.
$5,000 or something.
Right. Yeah.
And Coldplay's the woman that founded Coldplay.
Right.
Was slagging us off.
Okay.
And she asked where the toilet was.
Yeah.
And Paul directed her into a closet and then locked the door.
Is that true?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Another
and then
10
shouted
points.
through the door. You founded Coldplay? Well, I'm Paul Emery, drummer of Cthru27. Now fuck off.
Brilliant.
But she hated us. But we still got the grant anyway, so fuck it.
And that's amazing.
He literally directed her into a broom cupboard at the Arts Centre. into Brinkle and locked the door.
That's incredible. I didn't know that story.
I literally forgot about that until just now.
Well, I've lost for words. Definitely another 10 points. What? So
It's just in here.
that's unbelievable. Brilliant. And that was at the art centre.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's just like a random door there for some reason. And I don't know, it's just full of fucking like stuff. It was like a janitor room, I think.
Yeah.
And Paul dragged her there. Dragged her into the janitor's room and then locked the door. There's a key in it.
Oh, that's brilliant. What are you looking like? 2020, we decided, we're gonna make a record and do some stuff for the 20th anniversary and do some band stuff. But what are you most looking forward to about being back? What are you looking forward to doing most with Cthru27 2.0?
I'm looking forward to having a finished product, but probably just want to gig again, really, man.
To gig in?
Yeah, I just forward to gigging again. Just seeing what reaction we get. But
Okay.
definitely looking forward to having just want to hear these new songs finished. That's probably what I'm looking forward to the most.
Right.
Just having a finished product and being like, we've done it now.
Yeah.
Let's go gig it.
Yeah.
That's always the best feeling.
I think so, yeah.
Having those songs and being like, yeah, it's done, sorted.
Talking about the new stuff, how's it felt for you personally to be back in a room with everyone? And do you think it feels different this time around to when it did 20 years ago?
I think it feels a bit different, to be honest. It's just everyone's more sober.
Yeah.
It's less alcohol, really. Less other shit.
Yeah.
Do
you think it's more productive then, or?
I think everyone's got more respect for each other. Everyone listens a little more.
Yeah.
I'm definitely less pig-headed.
I haven't noticed.
You haven't?
No, I have.
You have noticed. Yeah. Because back then everyone was fighting for like their genre of music kind of thing.
Yeah.
I want it to be more hip hoppy. I want it to be this. I want it to be more, rocky. I wanted it to be less rocky, which probably finished the band in the end.
Yeah.
Amongst other things.
Yeah.
But now I just think me personally, I've got more respect for what everyone's doing.
Yeah, I think.
And I think everyone has as well.
Yeah, I think it's fair enough to say that. Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely a nicer atmosphere. There's less arguing.
Definitely less arguing.
Just accepting that I'm not always right.
Right. I think it feels different. We've recently got a new bass player. I think so. It feels a little bit more creative at the second because creative, maybe the wrong word. It feels a little bit more productive.
It's freshening things up, maybe.
Having someone come in. Adam's not been able to.
Unfortunately, Adam has gone. So shout out to Ads.
He's not been able to sort of be that much involved on the live side of things as we've been working on the new tracks. So it's certainly been more productive to have someone come in and do that, isn't it? So
yeah.
But for me, I think it's been, like you said, the biggest thing is this acceptance of that is what see-through is. So get on with it, like rather than fighting for a genre or trying to be edgy or more this or more this. It's just that's just it, just so everyone's sort of accepting and kind of cracks on with it. So it's I think it's been good, definitely, isn't it? And do you think we've approached it, the writing, the creative process, differently to how we would have done 20 years ago? Because
I think we were forced to.
Yeah.
Because of COVID.
But I thought that, but then I thought actually it started with me and you just in a room. Like I'd write some beats and then give them to you and you'd rap over them. And to be honest, that hasn't been too far off that now, is it? Kind of almost gone back to how we started.
The way I've written has been different this time.
Sure.
Yeah. not written anything down on paper this time.
Yeah.
I've just sat until something comes into my head, recorded it, and then push stop, sat and listened to it, waited till something else comes into my head, and then record that. So it's a different way of writing.
Okay.
But it seems to have worked. I've enjoyed it more.
Do you think you continue writing more stuff in that vein, or?
Yeah, I enjoyed it more.
Yeah.
I think enjoyed it more.
That's cool.
You're not really overthinking it then either.
No, I think that's important sometimes, isn't it? I think you can overthink things, and
especially when you're writing it
question
down,
yourself.
you overthink it a bit, and
yeah.
But a lot of like some mad business, some of that is freestyled, some of that is just like 3 or 4 lines just come off the top of my head, and then I'd stop, listen back to it, think sounds a bit rough, but it's all right actually.
Yeah.
And maybe re-record it, and that would have never happened if I'd written it down.
No.
So definitely different.
Yeah.
Definitely better, I think.
Cool.
I don't know about you.
No, I mean, I think lyrically, I think it's the strongest lyrics you've written on the newest track. They're the most poignant and poetically clever. I'm really looking forward to finding out what people make of them, to be honest, because
I think the music's the best as well. There's more space. It's just like you've done a great job with the music. Like
thanks.
A million voices, which yeah, that's just sounding great now.
There's 7 new tracks sort of done that we're going to record, and there's about another 5 or 6 ready to go for the next one. So
yeah,
it's been a productive year for us. Probably the most productive year in 20 years.
Yeah.
Probably. So something's happened. Something's gone right. Okay, what's your proudest or most unforgettable moment in the band so far?
I guess making Radio In.
Yeah?
Yeah, that record.
Well, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that record.
Yeah. It was 17 years ago we made Radio In, you know?
Yeah, it's fucking hell. It's messed up, isn't it?
Yep, and we made that at the Mill in Dis, and that's where we're going back.
Is it really 17 years?
Yeah, and that's where we're going back to do the new record. It was the first time that we immersed ourselves in making a record back in the day, and sort of trying to capture a vibe, and it'd be nice to try and do that again. That's what we're going to try and do. That's why we're going back there, to try and capture the vibe and immerse ourselves in a record rather than dribs and drabs.
Yeah.
But I mean, Radio N was probably the, you know, for me probably the proudest moment. It's maybe not realised it at the time, but looking back after
I remember listening to it after recording it in the car and just thinking, fucking hell, this is good.
And it still sounds great. I mean, it's not like
good.
It's not just not even about not even fussed about like the quality of the recording, and which is great, but it's just the urgency about it all, and it just has a. When we always use the word timeless way too much in this band, but it does have a timeless quality. I don't think it sounds old and dated, which I think is a massive shout out to Johnny who produced it, and the songs that we'd worked on and the time that we put into it. I think that all came together in a
Johnny Cole, that is. Yeah.
It's rare that you get records that don't date. I think that says something about the record, doesn't it? So
yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree that it's a proud moment, to be honest. The artwork, the name.
Yeah, the artwork's kind of iconic now.
I think so, yeah. It's not really.
Well, it's iconic for us.
It's only because it said, it was you said it's got to have in in the inlay, it has to have the words, "It's time to get your Nikes on and start rapping."
Does it say that?
Yeah, it does say that. It's hidden in there.
Sweet.
Yeah. So it's got a Nike on the front, an old Nike on the front with
Radio N written on it.
which is REYDON, Radio N. It's not spelled like that. It's us being clever, but kind of cool. I came up with that name. We did Short Straws at the outside the Harbour Inn in Suffolk, and I won that. And everyone was proper pissed off. But actually,
Did you come up with that name?
I did. Yeah.
I think I come up with it.
No, you didn't. You were dead set against it.
No.
Yeah.
Sure I wasn't, man.
You were, and we did Short Straws, and I was like, bollock, because I think this is the best name. But then I won, so I was like, wicked.
What did I want to call it?
God knows. But yeah, I mean, things work out for a reason, don't they? And
Yeah.
that one certainly did. So let's hope that the next one is got the same vibe. So fingers crossed. So the last thing I was going to ask you, Johnny, is over the years we've been known to smash out a cover or two.
Yeah.
But let's imagine if you could hear anybody, living or dead, covering a See-Through song. Who would that be?
I think you know the answer to this.
I don't.
I think you do.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
What are you going to say?
Juice WRLD.
Juice WRLD. Right.
Yeah, Juice WRLD would be cool, wouldn't it?
Would he be good at doing a See-Through cover?
I think he'd be good at doing anything.
Okay.
Rest in peace. I think he was a genius. Anyone, I don't know, maybe Jay-Z would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah?
That would be cool.
Yeah. Probably my favourite cover we've done would be Fight for Your Right.
Yeah.
I just think that I mean, there's quite a lot of similarities between that era of Beastie Boys and See-Through anyhow, and the kind of fuck you, I don't really give a fuck kind of
Did enjoy
attitude.
99 Problems was good.
99 Problems, yeah.
They only covered like one verse of it.
We did, yeah. We also, do you remember we did a gig where we did like a medley of covers?
Yeah, Nothing. That was good fun, playing Nothing.
Yeah, we did.
By A.
And what was it? A-Team.
18. Yeah, Bergerac.
God knows what was in that. I dread to think.
Ironside. Morse. We covered Morse.
Not cover Morse. But ironically, that gig we did was when the first time that we met our friend Mike, who turned up at a private party wearing a See-Through hoodie that we hadn't sold him, that he'd brought off somebody else, and he turned up singing everything. It was the first time we ever did a show where I remember going, that person knows every lyric to our songs, and no idea who he is.
Yeah, I
mean,
still don't.
Love him, but it was that was kind of a cool moment, I think, even though we were doing an A-Team cover. And
I think we should get people to send in See-Through covers.
oh man, if people want to send in the See-Through cover, I'd love to hear it.
Chris Brown did one recently, which is fantastic.
Chris Brown made a medley of Under Milk Wood
For a Lifetime.
and For a Lifetime.
And Morse.
There was no Morse there.
We did cover Morse.
But it was great, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know how you go and find that. I would try and direct you to it. But
So anyone listening, if any of the three listeners, if there's any musicians listening who want to send in a See-Through cover, go for it.
10 points up for grabs.
Yeah. Where would they send it to?
Any of the socials. It's all Cthru27.
That would be great fun.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a bunch of our Radio N CDs still. So absolutely, if you want to do a rendition or a verse, or to be honest, like whatever,
Anything you want.
There's 10 points up for grabs, and you only need 1,000 points to get yourselves a copy of Radio N.
You need 1,000 points to match with Liam.
Yeah. Liam's still on course to win his copy of Radiohead in 2005. He's still waiting.
So anyone that sends in a see-through cover gets a copy of Radiohead.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, we'll do that. We might run out of copies of Radiohead. How many is left?
All of them.
All of them, of course.
No, I don't know. There's maybe, I reckon there's 50 copies left, never to be remade. I think we did originally. The original run was, I think there's been 750 radio ends made.
Yeah.
And we've got about 50 left-ish. So you'd pretty much get in the charts these days, or maybe not over 15 years, but yeah, you'd probably nearly chart somewhere in some kind of, I mean, there's charts for everything.
Yeah.
We'd probably be number 100 in the alternative Suffolk rock pop charts these days.
Yeah.
For that many sales. But I think we've done about, in total, over the years, I think we've done about 700. Well, thanks, mate. It's been ace.
How Ace of Buildings.
How Ace of Buildings. Next time, let's we'll chat to somebody else, and I'm really looking forward to you and I chatting to other people from back in the day, people involved in the scene, and getting their take on the olden days and the scene and the state of music in the area. I think that's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, man. Should be good.
So yeah, that's it.
Cool.
Thanks a lot. We're out.
Sweet. Swish.